All right, welcome back to Absolute Superman. We are at issue 9. Last issue, Superman got shot in the chest like 6 times. Not really, more like 3 times by kryptonite. And Peacemaker became a version of Metallo. Yeah. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Leave a comment for what other comic series you want me to go over. We're doing Blue and Gold currently. We're doing all the Absolute and Ultimate stuff. Not all the Ultimate stuff, some of the Ultimate stuff, just to catch up. But yeah, let's hop in. So last time, Superman was taken by the Omega Men through a boom tube. We have multiple entry wounds. Suction is a needed suction, not suction. But the Omega Man's goal is to save Superman. We got to get all these bullets out of his chest. 6 years ago, my homeworld tried to kill me. Through a miracle, I survived. But now it's trying again. Radioactive slivers of my home planet forged into bullets, tearing me apart from the inside. Krypton is the gift that keeps on killing. So they pull one bullet out. Oh my goodness, it's unstable. I can't get a hold of its form. I don't know how we're going to do the other ones. Every piece of the equipment is blown to smithereens. So Superman says, you know what, just give it to me. I'll do it myself. Pulls the own bullet out of his chest. I mean, that must be insanely painful. Veins pumping lava, mouth full of ash, screams from inside my own innards. Billions upon billions. Krypton is dying all over again in me. And he's successful. He gets the bullet out. And then Primus says, hey, you need to bring me a box. A box? So what we did see last issue was actually one of the boom tubes. I hear mother's voice from far away, smell father coming home from work, swirling with the dust of the mine. Dog wants me to chase him through the purple fields. And then they do bring the machine and put it over top of him. Triggering the machine, please stand back. What is that thing? Which we will go into in a minute. If I die, the last vestige of my home dies with me. That's what this bullet is trying to kill. So I fight to do what I failed to do before. I fight to save Krypton, and this time I don't fight alone. So that is a father box, not a mother box, a father box. And the reason it's not a mother box is because this world was created in Darkseid's image. So why would he make mother boxes from New Genesis? He's going to make father boxes from Apocalypse. So that is a father box. And now we pick up with Lois Lane. Oh my goodness, she was arrested. They didn't execute her. So she gets to meet the main man himself, Ra's al Ghul. Agent Lois Lane, you will answer my questions as if your life depended on it. So, who am I and why am I here? Well, you're Ra's al Ghul, reclusive founder and CEO of Lazarus Corps. You never show your face in public, so you want me to be especially impressed that you came all the way here just to tell me, despite my arrest in Kansas, despite my betrayal of Lazarus, I'm not fired, I'm not going to jail, and I won't be disappeared down one of your oil wells, though I'm sure those options were carefully considered. Neither am I allowed to quit. You're here to remind me that I work for Lazarus, for you. There's work to be done. And he says, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I came here to threaten you. You are supposed to just stay in Lazarus. You're not fired because if you quit or get fired, you have so much importance that I'll just murder you. So it's either murder you or let you keep working and you have to keep your mouth shut or I'll kill you. So thanks, cool. But Lois says, to encourage my allegiance, you're going to remind me that my own father has 2 legs owned by Lazarus. You can get rid of him with a flip of a switch. You'll do so flippantly that makes you smile because that always makes the threat more unsettling. But I'm sorry, Ra's. Can I call you Ra's? No, you may. Shut up. You have no idea how the world has changed, Ra's, because you haven't met him yet. Once Superman's standing in front of you, you'll realize how small you are. Ha ha ha. Brainiac did not exaggerate when it comes to the sharpness of your acumen, Agent Lane, but I fear I must correct you on one minor detail. Disappoint me again, and I will not, as you say, flip the switch. Ra's al Ghul will summon your father and put the pathetic cripple out of his misery with my own hands. So she goes to stab him in the face, and he's like, just do it. I honestly don't care. You can do it, and I'll come back tomorrow because I'm basically immortal. So I'm actually liking this Ra's al Ghul. It's much more unsettling than the head of the League of Assassins, League of Shadows, whatever. But yeah, he just reminds her of her bigger place and says, okay, cool. Lazarus means life. You hold your father's in your hands. Remember your love for him as you fulfill your duty and bring me my son. So that's what we're talking about. His son. Last issue, I said it's Superman's comic. Superman is going to be his son, not Batman like it usually is. He wants a strong heir to the throne. And now, some time has passed. Weeks later in Pakistan, at a Lazarus building, we got a boom tube. Tight formation on me. Omega Men jump through and slaughter all these peacemakers. And Superman comes in and just fights everybody and says, I'm not going to use deadly force. If you want me to use deadly force, you'll wish you'd left me to die instead. And then Superman says, I prefer working alone, and he just takes out the building alone. Well, I find those remarks offensive, Kal-El. I'm sorry, Sol. I wasn't talking about you. You never heed my warnings, but I continue to offer them nonetheless. You must be more careful out there. If you exert yourself too strenuously, you could reopen your wounds. I love Sol. Sol, I think we've been here long enough to say there's no such thing as being careful on this planet. All I am is wounds. And then he gets big grabbed by a big hand. Peacemaker like AT-AT's coming out. Super insurgent in the custody. Lazarus means justice. I love Sol. Sol is kind of like basically the Alfred of Superman. Your wounds are bleeding, activating solar flare mode. Kal-El, please listen to me no matter what happens. You cannot allow the Omega Men to use what infernal device on you again. To hear me, Kal-El, you must never go near that box. So that is a big thing that we're going to take away from this issue is the father box. If you haven't been keeping up with like regular Superman, there is the Legion of Darkseid, which is basically like the Legion of superheroes, but they came from the Absolute universe, I believe, in the future, and they're not really based off Superman. They're based off Darkseid's, and then they came to help Darkseid take over our regular universe in the comics. But essentially, they did show this Superman kind of getting darker in one of the panels. So I fear that the father box is important, and I haven't seen it pop up anymore recently later in this run. But yeah, the father box, big thing. It's going to corrupt Clark, I'm sure, if they keep talking about it and show it more. So Superman asks Jimmy, what is that box? What do you know about it? I honestly don't know that much about it. One guy told me it fell from space. Somebody else said it was dug up here on Earth, where it had been buried for millions of years. All Primus says is that it comes from God, though her version sounds pretty different from any god I've heard of. Oh, well, it's called the father box, Jimmy. It told me its name when it was removing the final bullet from my chest. The box is alive? Did it say anything? No, but it spoke with fire. I saw a world erupting with flames. Another planet? Are you an alien? Am I asking too many questions? Stop calling me Superman. It's not my name. Sorry, dude. It's just that everyone assumed it's your preferred name. The box showed me the fire pits the size of oceans and slums that went on forever, packed with tormented masses. Basically showed him Apocalypse. I wonder if Mr. Miracle is there. That wouldn't make sense, though. I feel like Orion would be there because there's no treaty. Whatever. That's too much to worry about. But that was no vision of the past or some faraway planet. It was the world, this world. That's what's coming. You said that will happen if we don't stop Lazarus? Who said anything about stopping Lazarus in this sentence, Jimmy? The kind of guy who unleashes a deadly virus so that he can sell the cure, manipulates the weather to cause drought and starvation, culling people like herds of sheep? Do you trust Primus? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but she goes too far. I've killed just as many men as she has, but they kept me. After burning with this crew, you can't help but wonder, is too far really enough? So, yeah, they go into like why they are who they are, essentially. Jimmy Olsen, why do you want to be an Omega Man? My story is nothing special. I was having one of those late night existential crises, doom scrolling on the toilet, when suddenly I realized I'm going to have a kid who will look at me and say, Dad, what did you do when the world went to doo-doo? I want to be able to tell him I did something, I didn't just sit around and stare at my phone. I went to where people were fighting, and I fought to make a difference. The thing is, after I joined, Primus showed me the intel that she's gathered on Lazarus and Brainiac algorithm, their long history of atrocities, plus all the craziness that's supposed to happen in Area 41. I know that has been covered in Absolute Wonder Woman, and we'll get there. The governments project Olympus, the world's richest psychopath, some call the Joker. Oh, the Joker. After that, I got a vasectomy. So Primus walks up. There are protests in Orangi Town calling for the arrest and prosecution of the peacemaker responsible for the massacre. You need to go there. They labeled the protest as a terrorist threat. Those who aren't in critical care are being held at the Lazarus facility. The Omega Men are going to liberate them. I want all people available in the boom. Okay, well, I'm going to come. What? You want to come? Are you sure? Yeah, I owe you a debt, and where I come from, we pay the debt off with our hands. Well, sounds like you're on the wrong planet, but I can't really do anything about it. The God Box saved you for a reason. The Omega has plans for you, Superman. So we see him tearing through Pakistan, beating up peacemakers, destroying robots. The Father Box Kal-El, that device is extremely dangerous. I'm a vestige of the Kryptonian Luminarium, imbued with limited sentience by Lara L. I'm not capable of such emotion. It is you who should be frightened, Kal-El, of what that is clearly corrupted world might do to you, of the sort of man it may be turning you into. So Soul is like, please do not become corrupted. You need to stay how you were, full of hope. So Kal-El's getting annoyed. Stop telling me how to be. Shut the hell up. And so Soul disables voice mode. We'll see that may be a mistake later on. And Superman says to himself, I was too hard on Soul. He's right to be worried. Every day I spend under the sun, I grow stronger and angrier. The further removed from who I was, that sheepish child of the Redlands, a boy who saw his family murdered as surely as if someone put a gun to their innocent heads and kept pulling the trigger. As we see a bunch of men hung up from the peacemakers, and then they surround him. Their murder followed me across space to continue its age-old killing spree. Even with an entire planet in its gullet, its hunger for brutality and inhumanity remains insatiable. Krypton is dead, destroyed by its own hubris and gluttony. Long live Krypton. As the Omega Men just murder all these peacemakers, and Superman isn't really doing anything. He's not killing anybody, but he's not really stopping them. I have to get away from these people. I'll go to the top of their tallest mountain, or maybe I can jump to the moon, someplace no one can find me. No one who can possibly need anything from me. No one screaming for me to save them, join them, liberate, or avenge them. No one lost in need of salvation. No one else like me. So Primus comes up to him. Lazarus will exterminate anyone who stands in their way. You don't fight something like that by pulling your punches. You were sent here for a reason, Superman. You don't get it. I see the anger inside of you begging to come out. Stop holding back the volcano. Stop pretending to be this naive boy. You have to be a man of steel. March right back to that base with me right now. And together we kill every peacemaker we find, leave nothing left. Then we track down Christopher Smith and hang his body from a flagpole. Please stop talking. All that leaves is the demon's head himself, Ra's al Ghul, most evil man alive. Kill him with me, Superman. Kill him. One death to save billions. So what troubles Superman is everybody telling him how to be, what to be. Multiple people. Soul, Primus, Lazarus, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, everybody telling him what he should be instead of him just figuring it out. And then this man says, in all the chaos, we didn't realize we left a man behind. Who would leave behind? Agent Alpha. We forgot about Olsen. Lois Lane captured Jimmy Olsen. We'll see what happens next time. Thank you for listening, watching, and enjoying. Peace out.